What is going on, investors? Welcome to my channel. This is the Frugal Investor. In this video, I will explain to you guys why I think Michael Burry's position against Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation ETF will make him a big winner. I will also explain to you guys what long-term investors can do in such markets and such situations. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. With that said, let's get right into it. Michael Burry is one of the most legendary investors of our time. He was successfully able to predict the 2008 financial crisis. He was also the first one to start buying GameStop when the squeeze happened by the retail investors. If you have watched the movie The Big Short, you know that he runs a fund called Scion Asset Management. Over the past 5 years, the performance of the fund has been spectacular. Over the past 10 years, the fund has returned almost 310% to its investors. This is a mind-blowing performance compared to the S&P 500, which has returned almost 12 to 17% over the past 10 years. Compared to Cathie Wood, which has returned her ARK Innovation ETF, has returned only 42% over the past 5 years, and some of the years it has been negative. Investors have lost money by investing with her some of the years. Michael Burry is just really good at having a hawk's eye view over the market and identifying the bubbles. He looks at top down on the stock market and he sees where the pendulum, where there is more cash on one side and less cash on other side, and the balance has to be made sooner or later. And he sees that hawk's eye view and sees the bubbles and he goes against them. And most of the time, guys, he is right. And this time it's Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation ETF. Why I think he is right. I'm going to give you some points to think about, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I think this guy will win big this time. If you look at the ARK Innovation ETF, the companies in this ETF, the businesses that this ETF holds, all of them have earnings far into the future. Most of these businesses are not profitable. Even the average P by E ratio for the whole fund is 56.76, which is a very high P by E ratio. First point is most of these businesses are not profitable. They are not making money today. They are eating money up from the investors, from the lenders. Okay, they are not profitable. The second point is they have such high P by E ratios. The investors, the speculators, they have bid up their prices so high. They're buying them right now like crazy, and they bid up their prices so high that it is hard. It is hard for these businesses to match up to those prices in the next 10 years. If their earnings don't match up to those prices, their earnings are not matching up to those prices today. Their earnings are expected to match to those prices are in the 10 years, in the 15 years ahead. The nail in the coffin for these businesses, the third negative point, is they have a lot of debt on their hands. Okay, they have a lot of debt and a lot of interest payments to make because these businesses, they are consuming money right now. They're growing and they need money to grow and innovate and be profitable, hopefully into the future. How is this a problem? This is a problem because number one, they're not profitable right now. Their prices are bid up so high, 10 years, 15 years ahead, they will be profitable, and the debt is going to kill them if the Fed starts tapering. If the Fed starts tapering, that is, starts to limit the asset purchases that they are doing right now, these businesses will have a lot of interest payments to make. Most of the cash that they are consuming, instead of spending it on innovation and acquiring more customers and growing and running their day-to-day businesses, they will have to pay the interest rate on the debt that they own. And sooner or later the Fed has to taper because they have no choice, because the inflation will run sky high if they do not taper, if they keep pushing money into the economy by purchasing the assets. And that is what Michael Burry sees. That is what he's seeing, and that is what he's coming after like a hungry hound. The interest rates have to go up because the Fed has to taper sooner or later. They're already talking about tapering, and if that happens, there will be a correction in the stocks that have been bid up so high by speculators and people who are investing in innovation. And people like Cathie Wood will lose big. The Fed is buying 120 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities and US treasuries every month. That is a lot of money being pumped into the economy, and that is not sustainable. that increases the inflation rate sky high. It keeps the interest rates artificially low. And sooner or later they have to stop doing that because they have to cut back on the amount of money they are printing. People will have enough employment, the economy will be doing good, the fears of delta and covid will go away. And when that happens, when the tapering happens, when the fed limits the amount of assets that it is buying, the interest rates will start spiking up, and that will kill these businesses that ARK Innovation ETF holds in its funds, and there will be a correction. And that is what Michael Burry is going against. Now, the question is, now we know that Michael Burry will win big sooner or later, as soon as the Fed starts tapering. Now, the question is, what does a long term investor like me and you do in a scenario like this? Where do we invest? How do we navigate through these markets and keep our portfolio positive, or at least not lose money while we are dollar cost averaging? Well, first, watch my video on the best stocks to buy during these times, during if the Fed tapers. What are the best stocks to buy and hold in your portfolio if the Fed tapers? And second is, what is the best strategy? Watch my video on that, the second video, which will give you the best strategy during high inflation times. If the Fed doesn't taper and the inflation runs sky high, what portfolio should you hold? What portfolio should you own? Watch my video on that. That will give you some insight on what is going on, guys. What waters are we running through, and how you can keep yourself safe. Now, the main point is, in simple words, if the Fed keeps on printing money, they keep on buying assets, the interest rates keep them artificially low, the inflation runs sky high, and if the Fed, and the other point is, if the Fed tapers and the interest rates go up and the amount of debt that these companies have, the interest repayments go up. So in both these situations, there is one answer, and that is, buy businesses that you know very well. Second, buy businesses that have low debt on their hands and more cash on their hands. In case the Fed raises the interest rates, you can put money into those. Those businesses can put that money to use to pay their debt off, and they will not have to suffer. Their profits won't have to be cut down because of the interest rates. So buy businesses that you know. Buy businesses that have low debt on their hand, more cash on their hands. Buy businesses that are available at a fair P by E ratio. Their earnings, they are profitable today. They are profitable today. Those businesses that you're buying, they have to be profitable today. They cannot be profitable 100 years ahead. You will lose money in that case with market fluctuations. And the fourth thing is, be diversified. Be diversified across different sectors, across real estate, across industries, across tech, across different sectors, because sectors are cyclical. Sometimes they'll be doing good, sometimes they'll be doing bad. But if you are in different sectors, one will be down and the other will be up. So your portfolio will not suffer huge losses. Okay. So be diversified, know what you're buying, businesses with good P by E ratio that are profitable today, and also make sure the business has less debt and more cash on their hand. That is how you can navigate through these water skies. That was my opinion on what is going on, why Michael Burry will win big this time, and what is going on with the Fed and the economy, and how you can be safe as a long term investor through these waters. If you like this type of content, leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon. With that said, I've been Frugal Investor signing out.